Welcome to the Cat Power Podcast, where we deliver powerful insights into the world of cat marine, showcasing the latest in technological advancements and highlighting the stories of the industry's most dynamic leaders. I'm your host, Sergio Tejeda. Now let's get ready to power up with the Cat Power Podcast. And welcome to the Cat Power Podcast. My name is Sergio. You can catch us and every episode on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen to your platforms on. And today we're very excited about a guest that we're going to have on here. It's Hashim Marzuq. Welcome, my brother.
How you doing? How are you,
Good,
Sergio?
man. It's great to see you. So Hashim,
here.
He went to the Massachusetts Maritime Academy. He has a bachelor in science, third assistant engineer, unlimited horsepower for both steam and diesel vessels. He's shipped on oil tankers for 6 years, and he's had 20 years with Caterpillar on various positions all around the world. He's been a service project engineer in Manila, the Philippines, and the Cayman Islands. He's been a marine application and installation engineer, Peoria, Lafayette, Greenville, Houston, all over the place. He's been a territory support manager in Hamburg, Germany, as well as now a GDL staff instructor and consultant here in Miami Lakes. And of course, kind of like me, he likes running, golfing, and boating, and who wouldn't, living in South Florida. So welcome, Hashim.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Sergio.
Absolutely, my brother. So listen, before we get into about what you're doing and the interesting things with Cat, you have a very interesting background. Tell me a bit about kind of where were you born? What was it like growing up for you, and how did you get interested in this world of cat marine?
Oh wow, yeah. The background, I'll keep it brief. I was actually born in Kuwait. My parents are from Palestine, but born in Kuwait. We migrated to the U.S. and well, the whole family been immigrating to the U.S. since the 70s. Actually, my older brother, he went to the same school I went to, Mass Maritime Academy as well, and he got 2 of his kids to go there. So like, marine is embedded in my blood.
Yeah, a big change in weather too.
Right. Yeah, right. From the Saharas to
I don't think you can get more extreme than that. So that's awesome.
No. So I in the US, Massachusetts is my hometown, or home state, if you will. Hometown would be Plymouth, Massachusetts, just where the pilgrimage migrated to. So we went there.
Very similar.
Yeah. So I went to the Maritime Academy, graduated in 92. I went in the engineering segment. I did sail for about 6 years, mainly steam oil tankers, which had a lot of diesel backup generators, etc. Majority of them were Caterpillars. The other vessels I sailed on was also with Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. That was all diesel, and it was all Cat engines. That one was
meant to be from the start.
Yeah, exactly. And right after that, there was an opportunity with Caterpillar to work in the Philippines for them as a service engineer. It's actually was like kind of like what we call here is a field follow. So Caterpillar was trying to get into the heavy diesel oil side of the business, and they upgraded several 3600 series into heavy fuel oil. And at the time, Caterpillar was looking for people that had experience with heavy fuel. Although at the time I did not work on diesel heavy fuel, but I worked on steam tankers that process heavy fuel in order for it to go into the boilers to be to heat up the boilers and the water to become steam. Anyways, my curriculum matched the interviewers, and they shipped me off to Manila, Philippines.
So at the time, were you married? Did you have kids, or were you alone?
I was just got engaged.
Wow. So I don't know if your fiance was too happy about that, right? Or was she like, yeah, let's do it. It's a good adventure. Let's go to the Philippines.
At the time, she was adventurous. We'll keep it at that.
Yeah,
Uh,
she'll be watching this here soon. So, and so
uh,
you went out there, and what was it like? What was your kind of biggest memory, or the thing that struck you the most in that role?
so on that one, the objective was, like I mentioned, was field follow. That actually is more of the people, the caterpillar structure, the support. I had one of my greatest colleagues back then, Richard Peak. He still works for Caterpillar. He's in Asia right now. I got to learn a little bit of the Aussie accent, but not really.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. Got to
I
come
got to
back.
know what I got to know what Gadai means.
It's interesting because so I worked for Caterpillar for 14 years, and I lived in Geneva and Rome and then Panama. And it's interesting because you do start picking up accents depending on your environment, right? At least
Yes.
while you're there. And maybe you don't bring it with you afterwards, but every time you go
Right,
back,
right.
you start picking it up again.
Yes, yes. And whenever you meet somebody from Australia, you kind of, I just like,
Hey, mate.
I don't know. It had a lot of influence on me. I even played the game. I played the Aussie rule football when I lived in Houston, Texas. So
Nice. Nice.
yeah, it
Well, I
was
think
it
you
was
look like
great.
you have the size for it, so that's good.
I don't know if it was that good though. I ended up breaking my ankle, but anyways.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
other than the people, the Caterpillar structure, the whole staff, everybody that I got to meet within Caterpillar, they were all very welcoming, very knowledgeable. Whenever you need support or help, you call anybody, they would jump on it, figure out a way to help you. If they couldn't help you right then, right there, they'll call somebody. So both in any possible means, like technically speaking and
Sure.
personally speaking. So that was really great.
That's a
Um,
great point because I remember back
yeah.
back when I was while I was working in CAT, that was one of the things that was most like just most impactful for me. That wherever you went in the world, you would meet some
Mhm.
CAT people, and it felt like home, and people would help you
Yes.
and so forth. So that's a great culture, not only in CAT but in the dealer culture as well, and just in the
Yeah.
network, even with customers. So that's a fantastic thing. So you were in the Philippines
Uh,
for a few years, and then you went off to the next place. So tell me about that.
went to the Cayman Islands. So that was
All
another.
right, there you
That
go.
was that
That's
was.
the reward after being out there.
I mean, Philippines was great too.
That's a
There's
great
no
place
another.
too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure, absolutely. It's just a different experience. You have to always bring the positivity of the place you go to. I mean, there's always challenges wherever you go or end up with, and obviously, or of course, different places you have different. A much more impactful type experience where you enjoy it more. So, but the places, Philippines was fantastic. Cayman Islands, picked up scuba diving there. And there we moved from heavy fuel 3600 and we were working on distillate
okay.
3600 diesel, not diesel number two, not heavy fuel. So that was the treat. Because the heavy fuel, it has a little bit more, extra steps. You have to heat the fuel, filter it, go through several filtration systems before it goes into the engine. But with the diesel, straight up, number two diesel, less stressful, if you will.
Yeah.
And living on the island is also gives you a little bit of opportunity to enjoy life a little bit. I was not stuck in traffic for like 6 hours at a time. The
Right.
Philippines, the one thing that was
That was
bad was
tough
the
with the
traffic.
traffic, huh?
That was the traffic, yeah, because you get to lose your day. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours almost to get to a spot, and same on the return. So your days are tough. But the
Yeah.
Cayman Islands, 15 minutes, you walk to it, you're at the plant,
Nice. I'm sure
you
your
at
wife
work.
was much happier as
Yeah,
well, right?
yeah, sure. But yeah, so the Cayman Islands that's fantastic. At the time, Caterpillar had a contract or an agreement to support the power plant, Cayman Utility Company, CUC. That was the idea there.
Right.
I also there I worked with Richard Peak as well. He had moved there as well, and again we had a good time there. Um, uh, Learned a lot again, more of Caterpillar structure. It was on a different side because we were like on the customer side. We
Right.
were kind of like the supporting, uh, like if you will, like we were the customer to Caterpillar dealer there.
Right.
So it
Right.
was interesting to kind of see how that flew and the
Yeah,
process.
you're on both sides of the coin, so to speak, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So it was very interesting times. I spent a couple of years there. It was a great experience. And then another opportunity came up within Caterpillar in the marine world, which is my origin, and as far as what I wanted to work on, and that was in the application installation side of things in Lafayette, Indiana. So that's how I started within Caterpillar on the A&I side.
Interesting. What one of the great things about that is that you're constantly getting new challenges and learning new things. And one of the things I say about leadership and just growth and development is having that growth mindset where you get introduced to new challenges constantly, and that's just part of what we
Yes.
do and part of how we live. It's not always about the end result, but finding yourself in the process of learning and helping and growing. It's fantastic, and being able to do that in so many places around the world, exposing yourself to different cultures and different languages and lifestyles and everything else is a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, the same thing, and it's great that you have faced a similar process, so you
Yeah.
understand very well like all the different areas. I mean, you still want to learn and provide all the technical knowledge that you have to the new environment, but at the same time, you gain much more from where you go to, which is always great. You know,
Yeah.
so that in Lafayette, Indiana, that's so I got to know the 3500 product. I was A&I for that one. Did great projects with many dealers. I got to know more of the dealer network a little bit more. It was not just one dealer that I was working with like in the Manila and the Cayman. Now it's became global, so I get to know more dealers as you work with them to create different quotes, different projects, and you get to know a lot about not just the engineering that you're working with. You get to go to the shop and to figure out how this new unique quote is gonna is gonna work, because you have to create a new product that, I mean, that's what the custom quoting was all about, is about offering something that is not on the price list.
Right. Right.
So
Which
you
is
have to,
difficult sometimes as a manufacturer because you're having
right.
to deviate from your normal process
Mm.
of work and so forth. But it adds a lot of value as a client, as a customer out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the greatest things that Lafayette site really offers, is the customization of the product there. It makes you grow a
Right.
lot.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Perfect. So, and then you kept going throughout your
yeah,
career and to all these different locations, and now you're in Miami, right? In the PDL. So
yes.
tell me a little bit about that and how you're supporting, customers right now.
So with Miami, I worked for GDL, Global Dealer Learning, and I am at the Miami Lakes Learning Center. I work for amazing, amazing group. We were actually just had
Nice.
um, that presentation about our team and how we support the Caterpillar network on the learner side, all the projects that we have. And again, very welcoming team. You feel like with family instantly. Uh, from my manager Jaime Casanova to all the staff and the supporting team, whether they are the consultant, whether they are the production management, project managers, the whole nine yard. Everybody in there is just working on creating an environment that makes the learner that comes in, whether that learner is from our dealer, end customer, our Caterpillar employees, to feel that they are, treated. They get first class
Yeah.
experience from every direction. What the learning, the material that's coming at them, the actual hands-on training that they get, and that's is what we pry on, is what we are proud of, is the hands-on experience, because we're able to ensure that all the assets that we got are utilized for whatever training that we have
So
at the
2020 was
facility.
obviously a very challenging year for everybody with the
Mm,
pandemic and travel.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
and as remote learning continues to develop, you will
Mm,
still have value in having people come and touch the iron and really get trained hands-on there. But how are you guys developing the next technologies to train remotely? Is there, VR goggles where you're doing in that virtual environment? What are some of the things that you guys are developing now to be prepared for the future?
yeah, so great point. So what we have now is what we call VILT, so virtual instructor led training. So that's what we have currently that's happening. So with that, and with that one, we actually do also what we call, there's blender learning. So we're able to go, for us to, like, I'm the resident there right now in Miami Lake. So I'm able to go to a lab and start an engine, or uh, provide certain segments of what's needed for the training, and then we can, present it live for the learners. So we kind of still give them a little bit of a hands-on experience, but virtually. And hopefully, as things move on, and uh, the dust clears and the virus disappears, hopefully we'll get back into hands-on. However, it still evolves in a way that we will probably continue offering this virtual training, where if you're just discussing like the theory or trying to get the intro,
Mhm.
which would actually impact the learner, that they don't have to spend the time to travel here and lose 2 days on theory, for example, where you can do that through virtual. And then, but when they come in to the training facility, they're straight into action. So that
Right. Yeah.
will
You already
reduce
got
their
the game
travel
started.
time. It will reduce their travel time, their cost, hotels, rental, etc. So it's actually, well, I think it's kind of, again, Caterpillar and everybody, we try to make things better when faced with a tough situation, if you will. So
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, things are changing at a rapid pace, and adapting to that change and staying effective and on the cutting edge is something that Cat has done for many years and will continue to do,
yeah.
going forward. So at Miami Lakes, there's training for not only Marine but other divisions as well, right?
Absolutely, yes. We support the oil and gas industry. We have a lot of different modules and asset that we have here. One of our biggest one is the what we call the Larson Station. We have expert consultant and trainers at the facility there that come in and they certify commissioning engineers. That is one of the things. The other things we are supporting also is the mining industry with the truck engine technology, the DGB,
Mm.
diesel gas blending, and transmission. So right now, that's a huge project that's ongoing right now. That we have great colleagues of mine, Nick and Brendan. They're working on it right now. They're doing a great job. Can't wait, because hopefully I'll get touch it, or
It's funny because we get excited about these big toys, right? As whenever I tell people I work for Caterpillar, and they're like, "Oh, the boot company." I'm like, "No, no, no, the
yeah,
construction equipment company. That they make these huge, tractors and engines, and it's a lot of fun being in that industry. Especially you can touch it and you can feel it and like sense the power of this stuff. It's impressive when you see it firsthand, and that's what you guys are able
yeah,
to do there at the facility. So,
yes.
what do you have coming up in 2021 for customers to be excited about?
We have the DGB engine that's coming up. We're hoping that we expand on our 3500 and the C32 engines that are at the plant. We do MSCS training. We do MCS training. We also, hopefully, we can get back our CMA certification. It's usually a big event at the end of the year where we certify our marine analysts. So we'll see how depending on uh, the control of the virus,
Sure.
we'll try to see how those, but as of now we're ramping up all our efforts to ensure everything is ready and available once we shift and move back to on face to face people coming into our facility.
And then the bonus is that when they come in, they get to go running and golfing and boating with you on the
Yeah,
weekend.
sure.
So you gotta spend some time in Miami over the weekend and hang out with Hashim and the crew. Have a good time, mix a little business with pleasure and have a good time.
Absolutely, sure. Absolutely. And now that I know that you're around, we'll have to set up at least a golf game.
Yeah, we might have to do some customer interviews here on the Power Podcast.
Yeah, sure.
So, Hashim, where can folks get in touch with you if they have some questions, they want to get more information? Is it an email, LinkedIn?
Yes, I am on LinkedIn, but I'm also on email. It's maybe we can set it up on the screen. It's Marzuq _ Hashim _ m@cad.com. I am on LinkedIn. I need to be a little bit more active on LinkedIn. I need to update all my information. I have not been as active as I should be. But yes, those are my information, and happy to answer questions, especially with what the upcoming trainings are, and whether you're end customer or Caterpillar employee, or obviously our dealers. Our dealers, they have all the links that we can provide them to from GDL. That gives them our service internet and details.
Fantastic. Hashim, thank you so much, my brother, for being on the Cat Power Podcast. It was a pleasure having you on, hearing your story. It was awesome. And being up the street, we got to connect and go hang out for a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. Sergio.
So you can, like I said, you can catch these episodes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever platform you choose to listen to, and subscribe, because we're going to be giving you a lot of value. We're going to be interviewing leaders in different industries and guys like Hashim and Alan Bowman and experts in the field to keep you updated each and every time we have an episode. So enjoy. Have a great day, everyone. Make it a great one. And thanks for being on the Cat Power Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow and rate us, and be sure to share it with a friend so that you can power up their life and their career.